Hello again, and welcome back to the channel. We're looking at a little brewer today. This is the Kikkerland brass collapsible coffee dripper. So it's kind of like a travel dripper. Let's talk about it. Anyway, again, this is the Kikkerland brass collapsible coffee brewer. I just bought it because it looked cool and it looked schmancy. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at it. So let's pull it out of the box. Box is very simple, just regular box, little package. And then here is the brewer itself while it's folded. I'm gonna come over there and show you a little bit closer. Take a look at it. Alrighty, so this is another fold-up pour-over brewer. This one is just entirely a metal framework. And when you open the box, you don't really get anything. There's not really a recommendation of what filter size to use for it. So I kind of played around and found that like a V60 size 1 paper fits, but only if you do a certain thing. So if you take it, you gotta kind of squeeze it a little bit more. And then it kind of has this like cup on the top, kind of, and that was the only way that I found that it would hold on to it. So let me grab one of those filters and I'll show you. All right, so I grabbed a size 1 V60 filter. I'm gonna move all this out of the way. Anyway, we're gonna do the standard, the usual thing you do with your V60. We're gonna fold it, we're gonna fold it, we're gonna drop it in. So the problem I already see is that like, for your typical kind of like cone-shaped pour-over filters, this may work. I'm gonna test it out and we're gonna see if it actually holds onto the filter while we're brewing. This might be a situation where like once it starts to fill, it might pull itself in and kind of crumple a little bit, but I suppose that's not the worst thing that can happen. Now on the front of the box, it shows it using kind of like a small like coffee maker filter. Now I have small coffee maker filters and well, it's not fitting. So I don't know what filter they have on the front of the box in here, but on the back of the box, they do have something that looks like a V60 filter. So right there, it's a little confusing as far as the box goes for what you might use for a filter. But I found that this relatively fits. I have not tried this out. So you're going to be watching me try this out for the first time. And this is kind of that first impressions kind of review of it. So I'm gonna grab some coffee. Let's get our water boiling and we will come back to this to see if it can do the thing, essentially. So see you in a second. All right, so since this is such a small filter size and I'm just brewing it into this little mug, I'm just weighing this out to 15 grams of coffee just to brew literally just a single cup, just to kind of test how all of this works. And yeah, so, all right, our water is ready. We're gonna rinse out our filter. Now, one concern that one of my friends did bring up to me, since it is a brass like filter holder, they wanted to know if it was going to have a little bit of a metallic, like a metallic taste. Now, I'm gonna see, but I didn't think about that when I initially bought this. And honestly, I'm sure it's fine, but we're gonna find that out once we are done brewing. Okay, so for right now, I mean, it looks like it's holding it. It doesn't look like I feel like it might fall through a little bit, but we're gonna see. Let's run this off. Everybody's ready. Again, since I'm brewing just such a small cup, and that's what I'm assuming this is kind of for, I'm just brewing a small cup, 15 grams of coffee. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up is that I was wrong, and it does specify some of the filter sizes that it takes on the back here. So it does say that it fits a Gino filter, a Kalita filter, and a V60 filter, which we are using. Now, the sizes of each of those brewer filters, it doesn't specify. So I'm assuming just one of those three and then figure out which one it is that fits. Like this one fit a size 1 V60. Anyway, we're gonna go on in with our coffee. The more weight I seem to add to it, the more it looks like it just wants to fall into it. But we're gonna see how this goes. Again, we're gonna kind of look over everything, see if it does have like a slightly metallic taste. But yeah, let's go ahead, get a bloom going, and see how everybody, ooh, there we go. It's fallen in a little bit. That was a little bit more water than I like to do for a bloom, but the filter did fall in, so I wouldn't exactly say it fits a V60 filter. It'll hold it in there, but it's not gonna hold it in there right. That's done. Now let's just continue on up. This, because the filter got pulled in, this makes it a little bit harder to do a nice pour over pattern. But I mean, all of that aside, there's coffee going through it. Then I'm going to probably do one last fill on this, and then I'm going to let it pour through for the rest of it. But anyway, now seems like a good time to ask you all out there, if you have this exact brewer, tell me what kind of filter you like to use on it. If you've used a V60 and kind of felt like you've had problems with it. Like I said, it fell in a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's making the biggest difference other than the fact that all the coffee is clung to the side now. But yeah, if you have this, tell me how you like it. Tell me if you have something similar, and tell me your experience. I'd like to know. Throw it in the comments. Thank you. Anyway, it looks like we are just about done with this to brew through. And then I think I might bring this over there so you can see, if I can get light into it, that all of the coffee is stuck to all of the sides of this. So I'm gonna wait for this to drip out completely so I'm not dripping coffee everywhere. And then I'm gonna come over and show you. So hopefully it'll focus enough for us to see. Don't know if the light's good enough in there. All right, so I upped the light a little bit, and as you can kind of see, it seems that all of the coffee is all on the sides, and there's a very small bed at the bottom. Not exactly the most preferable thing to see when brewing a pour over. Definitely not my favorite thing, but if you have a way to remedy that, keep that in mind. All right, so we're back. We've gotten rid of our filter in there. We're going to fold this back out into its little flat, folded position, which honestly, if you find a filter that works best with this, I would say that this is good for travel, but it'll take a V60 kind of. It's just not going to really pour out the way I would like a V60 filter to pour out. And again, like last time, one of the last pour over videos I did, I'm gonna give this a minute to cool down a little bit so I'm not burning everything in my mouth to try to taste it. And yeah, so we'll be back in a minute once this has time to cool down. All right, we've given this a chance to cool down a little bit. Now we're gonna take a sip and see if we find any flavors that aren't just coffee. All right, I can't exactly say that I taste any metally flavors, so that's good. It did brew a good cup of coffee. We did use an actual like V60 filter anyway, so I wasn't horribly worried about how the filter was going to act. Oop, actually, okay, the aftertaste is a little metallic. It's very subtle, but it's there. I don't know, and again, I did use this blend of coffee that I do drink regularly. There's definitely a flavor that's not usually there, and it does taste a little metally. Yeah. I don't know if that is something that will go away after a few uses, or maybe wash it really good a couple times. But again, if you've had this and you don't find yourself having a metally taste, let me know and tell me if I did something wrong, because that is not uncommon for me to do something a little wrong. But anyway, thank you all for watching our review of the Kikkerland brass collapsible coffee dripper. Again, I don't know why everything has to have such a long name. It's a filter holder. It's a metal filter holder. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, all of the good things. I will continue to sip at this a little bit. And yeah, you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode of Blue Truck Coffee Channel. See you later.